What's up, Eagles Nation? This is Brian with Eagles Real Talk. I am the flyest covering the Eagles in the game. Thank you for joining me today. It's week 2. The Eagles versus the Vikings Monday Night Football. This is a very anticipated matchup. I believe this is the best game of the week. It's going to, obviously have a lot of offense. We're going up against a potent offense. They have Justin Jefferson, who's, just been tearing up the league. Last week, I don't know how many yards he had. I think almost 200. All I know is he was the reason why I lost my week 1 fantasy matchup. He went for 40. But that's neither here nor there. They also got Kirk Cousins, who the Eagles have had trouble with in the past. I'll get into that later on in the video. And they also have a good running game with Cook. So the Vikings are no slouch. And honestly, I think this is the hardest game of the season. I think this is our hardest opponent, especially on offense. And I'll get more into that. But before we get into that, this is video number 200. We made it to 200. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Get down with ERT. We're going to be posting a lot more videos as the season goes and a lot more surprises and different type of videos than I normally post coming up very soon. But let's get straight into week 2. Okay, so we're taking on the Vikings. I already got into it. They have a great offense. Justin Jefferson, he is a lot to deal with. So what does that mean? Our defense has to come with it. So we have to, off tops, we have to know where he is at all times. We can't let him get wide open because he's also very good after the catch. He's fast. He's just a smooth wide receiver. He's a lot to deal with. They move him all over the field. They don't just throw him out there and say, hey, get open. They also scheme him open. You'll see they'll be moving him in the slot. They move him outside. They put him in motion. There's a lot going on when it comes to, defending Justin Jefferson and a wide receiver of his caliber. So what does that mean? That means Slay has to ball out. He has to put the clamps on Justin Jefferson, or at least contain him. It's hard to completely put the clamps. I don't want to put that much pressure on Slay. But as long as we can contain him, don't let him go crazy. Keep him, managed in the red zone and not let him get loose. And Bradbury also does his thing on Thielen. I think we have a very good shot at beating the Vikings, because if we stop Justin Jefferson, it's going to be hard for them to win. Let's just be honest. They're just an average team if Justin Jefferson isn't going crazy and doing the gritty all over the field, So we have to contain Justin Jefferson. I hope Jonathan Gannon puts that at the very top of the board, because if we shut him down, I believe we will walk out of this with an auto W. So Kirk Cousins. Let's get straight into Kirk Cousins. He has been a menace, somewhat of against the Eagles. He's 6-3 against us. His last 2, I believe, he did pretty solid. I remember the last 2 times we beat him 2 times in a row was the 2017 Super Bowl year. We were pretty much unstoppable that season. So Kirk Cousins, he's done very well against the Eagles, but there is a but. He doesn't do well on Monday, Thursday, and Sunday night games. He has a lot of trouble on those games. According to the data, he is 8 for 17 in prime time. He has a winning percentage of 32%. So when you kind of combine that with his success against the Eagles, 6-3, he's 8-17 on prime time. I think that gives us a slight advantage, because this is, it's a new team. It's a new Eagles team. Obviously, he's had Justin Jefferson for the past 3 years. I think he's beaten us 2 times in a row. So, I think 3rd time's the charm. We get that victory. But the key to victory and the key to success against Kirk Cousins is to put pressure on him. But he's also good at getting rid of the ball quick. So our defensive line, who I was very, very, very disappointed in against the Lions week 1, we had 1 sack. It was a broken play, I think, too. I think the snap was bobbled and Goff picked it up, and he had Fletcher already in his face, so that was an easy sack. For the rest of the game, Hassan Reddick was basically invisible. Panay pretty much locked him down, which is unfortunate his first game, but I'm not gonna indict him over that. It was a hard matchup. The Lions have a really good offensive line. They have a top 5 offensive line, so they beat our defensive line. Our defensive line has to get better. They have to get better at scheming a way to get to the quarterback. We have to do something different. If that means we have to blitz more, I think we only blitz like 6 times against the Lions. It's pathetic, honestly. Jonathan Gannon, he's a safe quarterback. He's like, he's not vanilla. I wouldn't say he's vanilla. He's like milk, He just doesn't excite me out there with his schemes. We should have just hired Vic Fangio, who was at our training camp a lot of days. He doesn't have a job. We need to go ahead and hire Vic, because Jonathan Gannon, I don't know if he's it at DC. He's only had success against quarterbacks who are trash. Let's be honest. He hasn't beat any really good quarterbacks. Goff is probably the best quarterback he's beaten, and that's not even saying much. So, I think at this point, Jonathan Gannon has to switch some things up. I think Nick Sirianni, this is where a head coach makes his bread, okay? The head coach has to go in there and say, hey, listen, Gannon, whatever you're doing is not getting it done. It is not getting it done, sir. You're going to have to switch some things up this week. We got to start fast at home. I think starting fast also, if we get to choose, whether we receive or kick, we got to receive that thing. We got to go down there and at least put some points up in the board. It would be great to go down there and score 6. This is a defense that plays a lot of zone. And that preseason game against the Jets, they played a lot of zone, and Jalen Hurts and the boys picked them apart. They picked him apart. It was a great day for Hurts, even though he played one series. You already knew if he would have played that whole game, he would have did work. So I'm actually happy that they're going to be playing a lot of zone versus us. And if they blitz, what did Hurts do last week? He picked them apart. Every time they blitz, he either ran for a first down, made them pay dearly, or, he found an open receiver. He was very good against the blitz. I think Jalen honestly likes to get blitzed. That I've seen him play so many times. I think he's good at anticipating it. He has a very quick, first step once he recognizes it. So, I'm actually very excited to see him go up against this zone defense. On the other side of the ball, we can't sleep on Cook in the run game. He's a very powerful runner. Even their number 2 runner, he's solid. He's a big back. So we have to contain, because last week, week 1, we let Swift just run all over us, man. We could not contain the run, and that was something that we did really well. I think Jordan Davis is going to get a lot more run this week. I think he's going to do very well for us this week. I think he's got something to prove, considering, some people are starting to doubt him a little bit because he didn't play that many snaps. I'm not one of those people, but, it is what it is. That's on Jonathan Gannon. That's on the defensive line coordinator. That's on, the player personnel up in the booth saying, hey, why isn't this guy on the field? In my opinion, I think Jordan Davis is going to ball out. And then we also got to get Nakobe Dean in there a little bit. He only played 3 snaps. 3 snaps? He's. I think this guy just he's a gamer. You got to get him in the game and see what he can do. He at least needs to get 15 to 20 snaps, a game. What do we, it's usually like 50, 60 snaps for the defense. He's got to be in there, so I expect us to have a lot better week this week, despite going up against a very formidable offense with the Vikings. I still feel like we're going to have a better week. I feel like Jonathan Gannon, he's a little bit on the hot seat. That seat's a little hot. I heard Nick Sirianni was on his head a little bit, which he, as he should be, in which, it's all on Gannon. He's the one scheming up this defense. So I think this week we're going to take care of business. We're going to win 36-26, but I want to know, what do you predict is going to happen, and what do you think the score is going to be at the end of Monday Night Football? Are we going to walk away with the win? And what's the score? What's your score prediction? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to get out of here, man. This is Bry with Eagles Real Talk. If you haven't already, you know what to do. Go find the button, hit it, subscribe, Get down with ERT. Hit that little notification bell so you know when I drop these videos. And yeah, we're going to have a great season, both on YouTube and on the field this year. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season, but we have to get past the Vikings. You know, it's all Monday Night Football. Let me know in the comments your prediction. I'm Bri with Eagles Real Talk. Keep it real always. Catch y'all next time.